are lacking a mindset of sustainability. And even in places where that mindset used to be baked into the culture, we're slowly losing that. And specifically for clothing, it's things like not wanting to show up to events in something that you've worn before, needing a new shirt or a different color of the same thing for your next Instagram post and things like that. So you make the thing, you sell the thing, you use the thing, but we don't think about how we are going to dispose of that thing and how that disposal of the thing would affect the environment and affect ourselves as well.
Ghanaians have always been sustainable.
Polyester is basically plastic.
Because first, nanka bills and come the year, man. You say, no, a munyan in tin, ucha, nekon, and koyi at the mammy.
Making clothes, buying clothes, wearing clothes is not necessarily a negative thing. It is the overconsumption and overproduction of clothing that is a problem, especially with the linear economy where the end life of the clothing is not really accounted for. So there are a lot of clothes made, there are a lot of clothes bought, worn, and not used for so long, and those clothes will end up in landfills, they would end up in our water bodies, they will end up in our beaches and pollute our soil and things like that.
I know that from Kantamanto, at least 15 million garments arrive at Kantamanto every week. Out of that 15 million, at least about 40 ends up in our landfill. So we're talking about hundreds of millions of garments every year just ending up in our landfills. That's usually Kwale Lagoon, the ocean, Old Fadama, and that's just Accra. So it's hundreds of clothes every year, but those hundreds just stay in the landfills, and a new 100 comes the next year and 100 every year. Before you know it, we have millions and millions of garments just sitting in Accra with no purpose and nothing else, nowhere else to go.
I love the beach. I like to sit at the beach. But to sit at a beach that is littered with clothes, that's littered with plastic, is not very great for social life. Like, you can't hang around places. It's affecting ecosystems. So even if it's not affecting humans directly, we are only a part of the Earth's ecosystem. It's affecting the animals, it's affecting the plants. Fishermen go and fish and pull out clothes and plastic and a little bit of fish in their catch. So there's many aspects and many ways that it harms the environment.
So while we can easily throw away a cotton shirt and it will gradually decompose, return to the soil and be nutrients for plants, bacteria, etc., polyester doesn't do the same thing. It just stays in our landfills and accumulates, blocks our waterways, and just as it gets smaller and smaller, it doesn't decompose, but it breaks down into microfibers and microplastics, and those are really bad for the environment because not only do they just not go away, they act as vehicles for bacteria and other toxins like heavy metals, PFAS, etc., etc. So yeah, all in all, cotton is definitely the more sustainable option, but where we are, even in the fashion industry as a whole, cotton goes through so much processing that at the end of the day, it doesn't break down as fast as we would want it to. So it also does stay in the landfill. Even though it does decompose at some point, it does add to the accumulation that we have in our waterways, blocking things, killing animals, bringing down oxygen levels, etc., etc.
Me obia mefa bills na mefa bills nso so a dwumadie a medi e wo bills ni nyina ne say after say metwa bills na awie no na maton bills no me ton bills na ye wani ma bills ni bi wo mu a the rejected one no kwasem say ye de ye bibia nye den enye yie nti the rejected one na ya ase na ase ye kwakoto atwene no. And I'm saying, I've cycling in it, mental entry. Me fasa akonya no so as I create, and I say, Miss Fasa akonya starting the year before for celebrate ya. Sa bills na and as I see an uncle waste, and as young to any entry. Intimidate be any case, intimidate be a straight dress, and now telling us to starting to be a skates, a year and my skates, and it be so skirt top and down, intimidate be.
I'm an upcycle designer, so I don't use new fabrics to make like my outfits or design my outfits. I use second-hand fabrics, so I use like second-hand bed sheets or second-hand shirts to make my stuff. And I also do tie dyeing. So this shirt I'm wearing, I don't know, it's very light because it's natural dye. I don't use chemicals to dye my fabrics or do my tie and dye. I use plants, and then plants like turmeric, onion peels, bisap, a lot. I'm still exploring different plants and then food elements. First of all, I'm helping solve a situation because I'm not using like fresh like fabrics and materials and stuff. And also now I'm doing the natural dye. I don't use chemicals because chemicals, even just for me, the person using it, is like it's dangerous, it's harmful, and it's also harmful to the environment, and it consumes a lot of water. Like dyeing itself, because you know after you've dyed the thing, you have to wash and then the chemicals, you have to use so much water to do that.
The Off Foundation has about 3 departments working some way to keep clothing out of landfills. I work with the material research and development part of it, which is mostly mechanical innovation. So I'm shredding material, mixing them with binders and making boards out of it. The background behind me, the colored thing, those are all boards made from clothing material. But our community business incubator also does quite a bit of upcycling work as well. We usually buy the material from the market, from retailers, and that's important to us because waste is not free. We buy them and then we sort through them by color for my processes, and then we shred them if you're going to make fiberboard, or you upcycle them into whatever thing that you are making. It's easier to recycle plastic bottles that come almost as a homogeneous thing. Like the material composition is one thing, maybe a few different colors, like a malt bottle is brown and then a Sprite bottle is green. But with clothing, you have a lot more variety. You have material mixes, you have cotton and nylon and polyester, and most of the times it's not even just full cotton or full nylon or full polyester. You have cotton and spandex. You need to find different ways to treat all of these different materials because they all have different physical properties. They come with dyes, they come with a variety of things, and it's also not like they're all a same type of garment. You have t-shirts, you have button-down shirts, you have denim, jeans, you have buttons and sequins and zips. For the upcycler, all of those buttons, zips things, you have to take them out. And for me, who is also shredding, that is another thing. We actually have to sit down and cut each button off, remove zips if there are zips or anything like that.
We have this fabric called the asasawa. So let's say you have the wax print, you've made an outfit from it, the piece that remains, they don't throw it away. We weren't throwing them away. We keep them, so we have a lot of them. Then we put them together. We do the patchwork, which is called the asasawa. Tailors from back then, from just you, me, our mothers have always been sustainable. Because if you realize, when they buy the wax print fabrics, and then let's say you make a style with it that is like short or the slit is too long, you hear them saying that, what's saying to mano? So we've always been sustainable.
So making of clothes and buying them aren't inherently wrong for the environment, but it really is the way we're going about it. First of all, we're buying too many clothes. So even if you're buying perfect clothes, the right make, everything, if you don't need them, you don't need them. And chances are you'll donate them. But we're making more clothes than we as a species need. And at some point, they're going to end up somewhere. Usually this is a lagoon in countries that can't really afford to fight against it. Second thing, we're not buying the right materials. Materials that, like we talk about all the time, don't really decompose in the environment the way pure cotton, pure wool would. You buy stuff like polyester, nylon. Even if you do everything right, at the end of the day, these clothes will have an end of their life cycle, and this end is not decomposition, it's not degradation into the environment. So it is going to pollute in one way or another. And the third thing is we're just buying clothes that are designed to have a short life cycle, 2-3 wears, and at the end of the day, you throw it away. So you could be doing everything right, but if the clothes don't last long and you don't try to mend them or upcycle them or anything like that, it is also going to end up in a landfill somewhere, no matter what you try to do.
If you have a dress, a shirt, trousers, whatever, don't keep it at the back of your closet. Go through it, cycle, use the thing. repaired if it needs repair. We don't have Oyade going around the same way as before. That is part of the culture of sustainability I was talking about that I think needs to be brought back. But you still have your local tailor or something, or go to YouTube and learn how to sew your button back. So you pick the shirt, oh, this shirt, I don't want to wear it again because one button is gone. Fix that button. Another way is to use your voice to support causes that are into sustainability and that are pushing things forward. So for example, our organization interact with messages, and just the support always helps to push for places and policies and people who can make a difference to make a difference. And the third thing is to work in the area of sustainability, like I'm doing right now. Work directly in that area. It can be volunteer work, it can be, you know, your life's work, but also some way, somehow be involved in making the changes, making the corrections that need to happen for sustainability, but in the small ways. Use a napkin instead of paper towels, things like that. Yeah.
Recycle, upcycle, reuse, mend. Those are your best bets.